What is the temperature danger zone for food? A. 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 41 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 135 degrees Fahrenheit to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer B. 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature danger zone is where bacteria grow most rapidly, between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for poultry? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Poultry must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit to ensure safety. Which of the following is a TCS food? A. Bread. B. Raw chicken. C. Crackers. D. Dried beans. Answer B. Raw chicken. TCS, time/temperature control for safety, foods include raw chicken, which requires strict temperature control. What is the maximum time food can remain in the temperature danger zone? A. 1 hour. B. 2 hours. C. 4 hours. D. 6 hours. Answer C. 4 hours. Food should not remain in the temperature danger zone for more than 4 hours. What is the proper way to thaw frozen food? A. On the counter at room temperature. B. In the refrigerator. C. In hot water. D. In direct sunlight. Answer B. In the refrigerator. Thawing food in the refrigerator is the safest method to prevent bacterial growth. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for ground beef? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Ground beef must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Which of the following is an example of cross-contamination? A. Using the same knife for raw chicken and vegetables. B. Storing raw meat below ready-to-eat food. C. Washing hands before handling food. D. Using separate cutting boards for raw and cooked food. Answer A. Using the same knife for raw chicken and vegetables. Cross-contamination occurs when harmful bacteria are transferred from one food to another. What is the proper way to cool hot food? A. Place it directly in the freezer. B. Use an ice bath or divide into smaller containers. C. Leave it on the counter to cool. D. Cover it tightly and refrigerate immediately. Answer B. Use an ice bath or divide into smaller containers. Rapid cooling methods like ice baths or dividing into smaller containers prevent bacterial growth. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for fish? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Fish must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Which of the following is a symptom of a foodborne illness? A. Headache. B. Nausea. C. Fatigue. D. All of the above. Answer D. All of the above. Symptoms of foodborne illness include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, and fatigue. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for pork? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer: B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Pork must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to store raw meat in a refrigerator? A. On the top shelf. B. On the bottom shelf. C. Next to ready-to-eat food. D. In the door compartment. Answer: B. On the bottom shelf. Raw meat should be stored on the bottom shelf to prevent juices from dripping onto other foods. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for eggs served immediately? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer: B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Eggs for immediate service must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Which of the following is a proper hand-washing step? A. Rinse hands under cold water. B. Use hand sanitizer instead of soap. C. Scrub hands for at least 20 seconds. D. Dry hands on an apron. Answer: C. Scrub hands for at least 20 seconds. Proper hand washing involves scrubbing with soap for at least 20 seconds. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for reheated leftovers? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer: D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Leftovers must be reheated to a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Which of the following is a common food allergen? A. Rice. B. Wheat. C. Corn. D. Potatoes. Answer: B. Wheat. Wheat is one of the top 9 common food allergens. What is the proper way to check the temperature of food? A. Use a calibrated food thermometer. B. Touch the food to check if it feels hot. C. Use a glass thermometer. D. Estimate based on cooking time. Answer: A. Use a calibrated food thermometer. A calibrated food thermometer ensures accurate temperature readings. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for steak? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer: B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Steak must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to store dry goods? A. On the floor. B. In a cool, dry place. C. In direct sunlight. D. Next to cleaning chemicals. Answer: B. In a cool, dry place. Dry goods should be stored in a cool, dry place to prevent spoilage. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for shellfish? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer: B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Shellfish must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to handle a foodborne illness outbreak? A. Ignore it and continue operations. B. Notify the local health department. C. Dispose of all food in the kitchen. D. Close the restaurant permanently. Answer B. Notify the local health department. The local health department must be notified in the event of a foodborne illness outbreak. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for eggs held for service? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Eggs held for service must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 155 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to clean and sanitize a cutting board? A. Rinse with water. B. Wash with soap and water, then sanitize. C. Wipe with a cloth. D. Use hand sanitizer. Answer B. Wash with soap and water, then sanitize. Cutting boards must be washed with soap and water, then sanitized to prevent cross-contamination. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for stuffed pasta? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Stuffed pasta must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to store chemicals in a kitchen? A. Next to food supplies. B. In a designated area away from food. C. On the counter for easy access. D. In the refrigerator. Answer B. In a designated area away from food. Chemicals should be stored in a designated area away from food to prevent contamination. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for roasts? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Roasts must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to handle a food recall? A. Ignore the recall notice. B. Remove the recalled product from inventory. C. Continue selling the recalled product. D. Dispose of all food in the kitchen. Answer B. Remove the recalled product from inventory. Recalled products must be removed from inventory immediately. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for injected meats? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Injected meats must be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 155 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the proper way to store ice in a kitchen? A. In a container with food. B. In a designated ice storage bin. C. On the counter. D. In the freezer door. Answer B. In a designated ice storage bin. Ice should be stored in a designated bin to prevent contamination. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for microwaved food? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Answer: D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Microwaved food must reach a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit.